While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain. Inflation is running well above 2%, and high inflation has continued to spread through the economy. While the lower inflation readings for July are certainly welcome, a single month's improvement falls far short of what the committee will need to see before we are confident that inflation is moving down. So, we are moving our policy stance purposefully to a level that will be sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2%. This increase in the target range was the second 75 basis point increase in as many meetings, and I said then that another unusually large increase could be appropriate at our next meeting.
FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And as you can see guys, we're looking at the dollar index. And so I wanted to break down the dollar index today because I feel it's very important for you guys to know what I expect from the dollar index, because essentially this dollar index is going to help drive all of the USD pairs and probably other pairs as well. But in today's video guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick dive into the dollar index. Let's take a look at it and let me show you what I'm thinking is going to happen on this dollar index, which will drive the dollar pairs. All right, so let's take a look here. So we have the dollar index here on the weekly chart. As always, I'm bringing it to you on the bigger time frame so you can see what I am talking about. Okay, now if we just zoom in guys to where current price action is right now on the dollar index. Okay, and somebody asked you, hey man, would you be buying or selling the dollar index right now? What would you tell them? Like, it's a rhetorical question, right? Like, it's been shooting straight up, right? So obviously the bias is for more buying of the dollar index, so basically dollar strength, right? And so what we're looking at here, if we zoom back out, we've so far passed two major points of structure that are really important to the dollar index. So let me put this up for you so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Here's the first one that we passed, and we did this back in May. And then now the one that we just literally passed within this week is right here. Okay, now tell me, after this right here, that what we just broke, is there anything in between here? Is there any price action? Is there a big gap here that's open that pretty much has no price action structure at all to stop price from going from here all the way to the top? Okay, now you take this into effect, right? What you see on the chart, and then you add to that we have the Federal Reserve obviously raising interest rates to control inflation, and then especially in September, the Federal Reserve is going to go full ham on quantitative tightening. They were pulling out 45 billion every month. Now they're going to start pulling out $95 billion a month from the economy. What do you think that's going to do to the dollar? Everything that the Fed is doing right now is only strengthening the dollar. And so here's where I come to you with this, is that the fact that we can see that the dollar index, once it broke this major structure here, it has clear room to go all the way to the top. And it's also being fueled by the Fed Chair. Okay, so it's being fueled by the Fed. So let's bring it down. This is a long ways, by the way. This is about, I want to say, to like 1,200 pips or so. It's about 1,200 pips. So we have a long ways to go, okay, to get up here, obviously. So it's just not going to go all in one shot. There are going to be pullbacks, obviously. Even on this weekly chart, you can see that, yeah, the overall trend is up, but you can see the pullbacks even for 2 weeks, 4 weeks here, 2 weeks here. So there are going to be pullbacks, and that's completely fine, and that's normal. Okay, but let's go down to the 1 hour time frame like we always do, and let's take a look. How can we get there essentially? So here we are, dollar index on the 1 hour chart. And of course, as you know, we have it already broken down for you. We're coming off of a reset. So obviously we're looking for more buying to happen, or more, more strength of the dollar. Now, more strength of the dollar basically tells you that the dollar pairs that are paired, so like Euro USD, Pound USD, USD JPY, USD CAD, AUD USD, NZD USD, all those pairs that are paired with the dollar is going to be able to overthrow those specific pairs. So that's why you're going to see anything that ends in USD is going to continue to drop, while everything that has USD first is going to continue to rise. So if you look at USD JPY, USD CAD, those pairs will be rising, while Euro USD, Pound USD, AUD USD, NZD USD will be dropping. Okay, so this is going to take a long time. Obviously, look, this is going to take a long time to get there. All right, so we're going to have obviously multiple cycles. I mean, who knows how many cycles we're going to have here, because this on average is about 90 pips or so a day. So we're going to have a lot of different we're going to have a lot of opportunities coming up on this dollar index. All right, so please pay attention to what's happening here. For the dollar index, for me personally, I'm only interested in looking for buys. Obviously, we know that we're going to have pullbacks, and those pullbacks are going to be the buying opportunity. Okay, now the pullbacks may be in the form of resets, it may be in the form of full cycles, right? So we may end up going, doing, let's say, a full cycle, coming back down, doing another full cycle, going back up, doing a full cycle, maybe a reset, and then another full cycle, so forth and so on. So it's going to be a mix, and that's okay. All right, but as long as you know the bigger time frame trend, which is going to be dollar strength, because it's going to take a while for us to get the inflation under control. All right, they want the inflation to be at 2%. We're still at 8.6. So it's gonna be a while, guys, before we get that down. And in that time, this is where I believe it's gonna go up. Once we hit here, I believe the inflation rate should be very close to where the Federal Reserve wants it. And then we should have a major reaction up here. What does this mean to all the USD pairs? Well, what I just said, guys. If you start looking at, NAS, you start looking at the stocks right now. NAS 100, US 30. I mean, look, did I not tell you that they were going to tank? I told you they were going to tank while they were doing this bounce here, or this dead cat bounce all the way up here. And they're doing exactly that. All right. USD pairs, like Pound USD, right? Tanking. Right? You look at USD JPY rising, right? So it's all there, guys. All right. The best right now, the best pairs to trade while all this stuff is going on is the USD pairs, in my opinion, because we know that what the overall direction is for the long term until they get the inflation rate down. Until they get that inflation rate down under control, we know the direction, and we can look at the index to let us know hopefully how far we're away, from getting to the goal, right? The goal would be 120.500, somewhere in that range. So if you go here, you could see we're going back to 01, 02. 02 is when the dollar really started to fall off because we went to war because of 9/11, right? And so that devalued the dollar quite a bit. But then slowly we've been bringing it back up. And so now we're at a point where we can go right back to where we had it pre 9/11. All right. So those are my thoughts, guys, on the dollar index, on the dollar and pairs in general. Okay. Expect more dollar strength to continue. Okay. And like I said, it's going to have pullbacks like you can see here on the weekly. It'll have maybe 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't care how many ever pullbacks it has. Right. But the overall trend is still going to go higher at the end of the day. All right. So I hope that this video brought you some insight as to what I'm looking for out of the dollar index long term, and hopefully it'll help you in the long term as well with trading USD pairs. So guys, if you want to see any other type of different content on the channel, comment it below. If you want to see an analysis on a different pair, let me know. Comment it below, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Guys, if you need any more help, join us on FXN Plus. It's available right now on fxntrading.com. You'll get a lot of different value from FXN Plus. For example, blueprint videos, 9 sessions, 14 hours long, over 100 hours right now of group session videos from the past 2 years. Over 100 hours we're up to right now on these sessions. You also get weekly sessions every Sunday. Ask as many questions as you want. I actually give a weekly analysis during those sessions, and I also give a midweek analysis that I put up on the website for everyone to see as well. You get access to the MT4 and MT5 indicators that everyone asked for. That's how you get access to them. Private group, trading plan, custom trading journal. I mean, everything you could possibly want is on FXN Plus. Guys, join us there. If you need any more help, we'll be more than happy to help you. We'll see you on FXN Plus.